Okay, after finally getting these games a few weeks ago and putting in enough playtime, I decided to make a simple thoughts video on the two Mario games that came out for the 3DS, Super Mario 3D Land and Mario Kart 7. As with Ocarina of Time 3D and Star Fox 64 3D, I can only show you the box art. Sorry, but this isn't a review, just a thoughts video. I'll start with Super Mario 3D Land first. If anything, this feels like a Mario 3 remake. Not that that's a bad thing. You have the Mushroom, Fire Flower, Star, and the Return of the Tanuki suit, which has two different versions, regular and Scarf. The only difference is the Scarf lets him turn into a stone statue like the one from Mario 3, and allows you to avoid damage from practically everything. Of course, you can only get the Scarf after beating the game once. Oh, and you'll also see the poison mushrooms, so, avoid that at all costs. Then there's the only new power-up, the Boomerang suit. It's not used that much, and really seems only helpful to collect the few star coins you'll ever need to use it for, which return from Galaxy 2, and there's 3 in every level. Don't get me wrong, it has its moments, it's just not something I found all that impressive. Sadly, it does make me think that they are starting to run out of ideas for new power-ups. Mario has actually learned a new move this time around, a crouch, roll, attack sort of thing. But now the backflip has to be charged, and I don't think I've ever seen him do the triple jump in this game, though most of the rest of the moves still remain. The goal at each level is a flagpole, much like the one from Super Mario Bros. 1, and as if that didn't remind you of the classics, Bowser is defeated by stepping on a switch that sends him into a lava pit. I'm starting to think there might be such a thing as too much nostalgia. The level designs are, for the most part, okay, some very well made, but very short, and few of them I have a memory of. Once I've beaten the game, the level designs get more challenging, and with some new challenges as well, such as a short time limit, and the Cosmic Mario clones, and even both of them at the same time, and that's when the game finally feels like a challenge. The game also stores every life you have every time you start up the game, so unlike the previous Mario games, you don't start off with 5 every time. Some might say this would make the game too easy. I say game overs feel pointless anyway in this day and age, and there's really any little consequence for having them, so what's the point of having game overs in lives? It's just nice to know that they didn't disappear like the Mario Galaxy games. I'm not going into too much detail about the whole game. I'll just say that if you're looking for something new, then this might disappoint you, until you remember just how much fun you had playing the game. I honestly don't think it's a killer app for the 3DS, and the 3D effects don't impress me that much either. I remember being impressed by the 3D block puzzles, then finding out there's only about 3 of them in the game, but it is a solid title to pick up if you own a 3DS. So in other words, if you have a 3DS, then yeah, you should pick it up, but if you're waiting for something completely brand new, then you should hold off for just a little while longer. The gameplay lasted me about, a little over a week, which is good for a handheld Mario game, but I didn't find that much to keep me coming back, except for collecting all the star coins, and I have to admit, it was hard for me to put the game down. Alright, now I'll move on to Mario Kart 7, also known as my current favorite game on the 3DS. The Wii version was disappointing to me. It was fun, but it didn't excite me or hook me as much as the other ones did. This one, however, has hooked me. The tracks are great, with the music level, the retro Mario level, and the DK jungle track being my favorite ones. There are tons of shortcuts. They brought back a lot of the classic levels from previous games, while the new ones will become instant classics. The controls feel the best in the series, and the glider is a nice touch. For those wondering, the glider is automatic and comes out every time you go off of a blue ramp. I sadly haven't had as much time with this game as I would like to have had, but so far I'm loving what I've played. I've only just now beaten Mirror Mode, done the online mode once, and haven't touched the majority of the game yet, so there's still a lot more for me to do. The online mode still kinda lags. By that I mean things happen later than they should. For example, I had a green Koopa shell held up behind me, a racer directly hits me from behind, and he didn't hit the green shell. And no, he didn't have a weapon to get rid of it. I also still see some players disappear, then reappear a second later. It's not perfect, but I still enjoy it, and I look forward to trying out the community settings as well. And it's cool to see a list of some of the players you've played against online, with a record of how many times you won or lost to them, and if they're still online and you can join their games. And no, these aren't people in your friend list. These are random people you've encountered online. You can now choose what kart you want to use, the wheels you want, and even which glider, all with different stats and lots of parts to be unlocked, as well as unlockable characters and collecting coins, which for once serve a purpose, or by winning trophies. My only gripes with it are the lack of new power-ups and some strange little thing that's caused my game to be stuck at times. We only have 3 new items: the leaf for a Tanuki tailspin attack, the Fire Flower allowing you to shoot out fireballs, and the Lucky 7, which gives you 7 different items that rotate around your cart. But be careful, for if someone touches a star, they get the star. Then there's the little problem with the game that I don't know if anyone else has had, but sometimes after I've unlocked a new part or character in the select screen, the game won't respond to me. The game is still playing, but now it's in a loop and I'd have to reset it. However, since it's at a part that doesn't matter if it's reset at all, it's not a big deal. Yes, the leader shell is back, it goes on the ground, knocks other players it hits out of the way, and flies upward then back down on the leader. Much like other Mario Kart games, if you have a mushroom you can dodge the leader shell, but it has to be used right before it flies down on you. I've done it once in this game, so I know it works. I see the blue shell 2 or 3 times during a race, but now I'm convinced you will always see it on the last lap before the finish line on 150cc and mirror mode. But we should be used to that by now. No, you know what? They should have it where the leader shell never shows up on the last lap. The first 2 laps, don't care. But it's the last lap that determines everything. And it always comes at the worst possible time. Great, now I'll have to think about something else to say for that list. Oh well, in closing, while these 2 games aren't exactly new experiences, they are certainly not to be passed up. Super Mario 3D Land is fun, addictive, but short and a bit on the familiar side. Mario Kart 7 is my personal favorite game on the 3DS. I feel it's the best game on the 3DS, and will have me and others coming back to it until the next future Nintendo handheld comes out with its own Mario Kart version. As if that wasn't predictable.